know how I asked that question. You know, it's just like, what was the first like experience where you saw the art form, or you saw or heard the music, and you were just like, yo, what the hell is that? What is that? That you can remember.
Yeah, when I get asked that question, there was like two moments there. When first I saw it on mainstream video hits, Rage with like Ja Rule and Eminem, like that Nelly, like that was around the time of hip hop, because my parents didn't really listen to rap music; they mainly listened to like folk music. But
did they have a Magic Mic?
They had a Magic Mic. We sang a lot of Kenny Rogers, Air Supply, the basic stuff.
That's all with the Magic Mic.
Yeah, 100. And then, but my first experience with hip hop, which I really cite as like, that's when I wanted to get into the scene and fell in love with the culture, was when I was hanging out with Ricky. He brought me to one of Spice's workshops.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, what?
And it was a graffiti, because Spice is a legendary graffiti writer in Western Sydney. And we went to Edmonton Leisure Centre, and she did one of her first, not her first, we were just there for a graffiti workshop. And then she introduced me to Death Wish Cast, the Fugees, and just the culture of it. And that's when that sort of started. And then I met 6 Pound at another youth centre. So it was happening around that year of fresh out of high school.
That is the craziest, like, what an introduction to hip hop. Because, you know, like a lot of us, and this is actually, I mean, to be honest, the way that you are, it doesn't surprise me as well, in terms of like being quite eclectic with your taste and, you know, sound.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But you've earned that, you know. But like my opinion's like up there. But you know, a lot of people, obviously the first impression is really just American. So to be immersed into what is quite a broad spectrum of Australian and American simultaneously would have been quite eye-opening, because you would have seen like, oh, it's over there, but we've got our version here.
Yes.
Pretty much straight from the start.
Yeah, straight from the start.
Far out.
Yeah. And a lot of your guests were talking about the writers' culture. So I was never a writer, but hanging
Esky
out
would look
with...
hectic on a wall, though.
I tried. But hanging out with Ricky would have like exposed me to that hip hop. I'll probably say grassroots, but maybe the word's more street. Like that exposed me to that element, and like, oh, it's a fucking culture. It's more than just a thing that people make on the TV and people watch. Yeah, there's like people live and breathe this, and then that's what it was.
That's actually a very important word as well, hey, because I think that's one thing that's often neglected. You know, particularly with some of the youth today, they just think it's a thing, like a thing that you do. They don't necessarily take into consideration that it's a culture that you live and breathe. To then also have that experience of like, yeah, cool. So, you know, you're, you know, diverse in, you know, just not only experiencing like our version, their version, but also like knowing, you know, elements and understanding, you know, how they all complement each other and stuff like that. So you met Spice very early then?
Very, very young, yeah.
So how was that? How was that to see like this strong woman in the scene, just like
a boss, like when a boss, when you're in a graffiti workshop, and then you've got Spice controlling the behaviors of lad kids, you know, because they want to learn from her, so they shut up. So it was cool witnessing that, and it's like, that's the power of a queen, that she just exudes throughout the room. People listen, and that was the element of Spice.
When you started to understand the importance of community, I suppose, how did that then sort of guide, because you've progressed in this profession, you know? So where did you sort of start from? Because you're going in, man, I can do music and teach the kids, and now you're, you know, a respected figure, somebody that if I talk to anybody in those circles of youth work and stuff like that, and I mentioned where you work, you know, Mount Druitt Street University, I mentioned who you are, people know who you are. So, you know, how did that start to, I suppose, drive, you know, how you started to view your professional life when you started to see the weight of your words?
Yeah. It, two things is, and these are like, I don't know if the word's proverbs or cliches, but it takes a community to raise a child.
Yeah.
Like that sort of stuck with me, especially with community work. And you were saying that you know, the parent holds a responsibility. Authority figures hold a responsibility. And when a young person isn't getting the benefits of a parent or the benefits of authority, you know, as being a security figure for the community, they're only seeing the negative sides of authority figures, and they see the negative sides of teachers. They are not blessed with having that nurturing element from people that should be raising them. So then that's where community centers and youth workers are supposed to come in. That's why we aim towards those who are in marginalized communities, because we understand that not everyone has or not everyone is lucky with a good household. So we have to, not have to, but we try and show them what we can. And one thing that I try and teach parents, because I do work with some parents and even with youth workers, is it's not about giving your child what you didn't have. It's about showing your child what you didn't know. Yes. Because when you, as a parent, you grow up in an impoverished community and suddenly you start making money as a 9-to-5 job, and you're like, you know what? If I would have been raised better if I just gave my kids this. So then you start giving your kids this.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, it just doesn't click. It just doesn't click for them. And then as a parent, you feel like you've lost, and you've haven't given them the nurture that they should have had, and then you start being hard on yourself. Then you start taking parenting to its nth degree, where it's really not what it should be, and then just like the household just collapses, and it's basing again, you're just basing this love on material things. And I'm not downplaying material, because that helps us fund our food and blah blah blah. Yeah. I'm just saying the values need to be shifted again. Is that parents should be showing them good core values and let them grow up, instead of giving them those materials too. Does that make sense?
Bro, fucking 100%, man. Talking to my soul. Shit.
That's a struggle with parents. And it's a struggle with parents who've come from a low socioeconomic area, because we want to give them so much.
But you're right, you know, and it's like, you know, there's one thing that you and I have had this discussion, but you know, currency is time.
Yes.
You know, and that's the only thing that you spend that you don't get back. Money, physical money, material things, they'll come, they'll go. You'll have peaks, you'll have troughs, like, you know, you're up and down. But two things. The first thing you said was like, ultimately, you need to teach them what you didn't know. So what you've learned, and that requires the currency of time. Time. You need to spend the time with your child to then help them acknowledge or give them perspective. You know, it's if you to fix a hole with like, oh cool, you're overcome with emotion. You know, so I'm talking as a parent to a child. You're overcome with emotion, so I'm gonna buy you something that's gonna make you happy momentarily. But you're actually not fixing the issue. Yeah. You know, you're band-aiding it. You're band-aiding it. You know what I mean? Rather than say, cool, why are you upset? Okay, cool. So this is why you're upset. Now let's break down the situation, give you some perspective on it. Yeah. So then you can learn and grow from it. So bro, 100%, like 100%. Right, like agree with exactly. So that importance, once you found that importance, that helped drive your passion, I suppose, for remaining in the scene and remaining in that, you know, profession and driving that as high as you can. Yeah. Yeah. And I felt like when, you know, in community work and youth work, I was able to spend time with young people
like free of judgment. Like they wouldn't judge me. I'm not judging them when they come into this space. I'm not saying, hey, don't do drugs. Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm asking, hey, come through and let's do something together. Like, let's make some music.
Yep.
Let's join this dance workshop, and they feel free to be themselves. And when they're free to be themselves, they are honest with their thoughts and their words, and I can start unpacking those things, and it just becomes this this really, really cool, free, non-judgmental space.
Safe. It's the biggest word, hey. You know, it's funny because, you know, I think that sometimes that's the most important thing is someone feels safe. Actually, you know, when people have an insecurity or something they don't feel as though they'll express because of judgment, you know, or attack, because ultimately when they express these things, they're putting themselves in a stage of vulnerability. And so when they're vulnerable, they're like, you know, obviously like, fuck, if I leave myself vulnerable in this space and I am judged and I am downplayed or I'm cast judgment on, then I'm not safe. My feelings are not safe. My heart's not safe. You know what I mean? Like, whereas if you present them with the opportunity to be like, yo, whatever, man, whatever needs to come out here, I don't give a shit. You know, a lot of people here can actually probably resonate with what you say. It's massive, man, massive importance. And, you know, I think that it really cultivates, I think, art. But, you know what was freaking hectic around those times? Westline Cyphers.
Yeah.
Who was doing those?
That was me and Zerish.
Zerish.
Yeah, me and Zerish.
He's the man.
Yeah.
So, how did that come about then? How did you guys start kicking that off?
Well, that was around the time of BET Cyphers. And we were like, with BET Cyphers is such a faraway thing for us. Let's just make our own Cyphers. So we started doing that.
That was hectic, bro. You had such a reach as well with some of the MCs.
Yeah. Zerish has that ability to like pull
people together.
Yeah.
Except when it comes to Soul Benefits doing their only album that everyone was waiting for.
I'm still waiting for that.
Bro, I'm still waiting for that album. Everyone's still waiting for that album. So Zerish is pulling people. Zerish is pulling the MCs together, and then what were you facilitating? Your own bars.
I was, nah, come on. Zerish was like, I don't know if Zerish would ever admit this, but I was there. I was like helping out, like helping bring people together and maybe calling people and making sure they come through.
Oh, so helping. Oh, okay.
It was very much, Zerish's thing, but I know like before each cypher, we would have like a quick conversation, like, okay, how's it going to happen?
Plan it out.
How can we improve from the last one? Yeah.
And how was it for you to be on like, Poetic? Was it Poetic on one?
Yeah, Poetic was on one.
Who was on there?
SF1.
Oh, Alj, fuck.
He was
He's
on
killing it now.
The guy's
Bro, he's got some bullshit. Man, can I just say on the record, if you don't know Alj, ALJ, go look him up. And you fucking just follow him on Instagram. He's got like 500 followers on Instagram. I don't understand.
He's probably one I'm like, he should be killing it.
He is killing it.
Numbers. You know what? He is killing it. My bad.
But that because he took too much time off, so he's just on his up grind.
Okay. So if he was a stock right now, I would definitely put money into that.
Yes. Okay. Stocks. If you want to invest in Al's stocks, follow him on Instagram and send him $50.
Yeah. No, he's dope. Always has been.
SF1. Yeah, we had LOC. got SF1 on one of the tracks. Fucking
D-Boss, and then of course
D-Boss.
The cipher that never happened. Or it did happen.
It did happen. I was there. I saw it happen.
There's a photo around there. I found the photo.
Bro, I got the photo.
Oh, you got the photo.
It's on the archives. Empress MC, McCohen, Soul Benefits.
True Vibe Nation. I think Vuli was there.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fucking hectic one. Something happened to the sound.
B-Deals was there.
Oh,
INQ. Yeah.
100%. That was fucking crazy.
Before
Zerich was like, nah, man, Limono LSC about to blow up. Can't have him stealing that Soul Benefit shine. And next minute, 1-4's DJ. Yeah, that was crazy though at the time as well, bro. Zerich is killing the beats. Zerich kills the beats.
Yeah.
Do you want to know something I heard? I heard this from Prolific. That Zerish and Prolific used to win all the beat battles so much that they got banned from doing the beat battles. Did you hear about that? No. Imagine being so good at something that they just fucking tell you can't come.
Is that true?
Nah, it's like Akai ones, yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah. How funny
Prolific
is it?
told you that?
Yeah. He was like, if it wasn't Zerish, it was me. And we'd always get to the finals and no one will ever fucking touch us. So they just turn around and be like, nah, man, we can't just keep giving you guys free shit. Like, you guys got to be judges. Is that fucked up, though? They keep pumping these guys with free shit until someone turns around and goes and just makes some fucking hectic things.